Hello, Sasha. This is Dimitris calling from Chicago and Metalkaoz. How are you?
Hi, Dimitri. Doing well. We're on this huge interview run now and preparing for our live shows. Busy times.
Oh, man. Although I have a question later for the live shows, you have the 14th anniversary, man. I mean, 4 decades. It's almost a lifetime, right? If you live the childhood, it's a lifetime. So, how do you write
It's
an
it's a long
album
time, yeah.
for a band with such a rich, long history?
I think we're really lucky in that sense that we have a lot of songwriters, like most bands would probably have one or two people writing songs, and so with us we have a lot of songwriters, and that helps, like so you can get some variety in your albums, And then, yeah, I have to say there's so much talent as well, Like, I mean, Andy Darius alone is like a killer songwriter who I don't know where he gets that, like he never gets worse, So yeah.
So, you said it's a good thing that you have so many songwriters. However,
Mm,
one would say, were too many cooks in the kitchen.
hmm
How do you deal with
Yeah,
it?
that's true. That's true. And you sometimes you run into trouble with that, but you gotta stay organized and you gotta serve the music and the band's name, So that's like everybody knows what it's about, and so we trying to serve the music, and that helps. And then we have a good management as well, who are helping us keeping in line when things are cooking up too much, So
Well, it's good at the same time, right? If you have people with strong opinions, sometimes I don't know.
absolutely, absolutely. It's also helping you, I think that's where creativity starts and energy as well, Like if you have a lot of people with opinions and as long as you stay open-minded to
Mm.
others' opinions, as long as you listen, I think that's the most important thing. That you just listen and see where people come from, and then that helps you yourself grow, and that helps the whole thing,
Yeah, that requires a high level of being confident with yourself and maturity, right? Because
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
So this is the second album with this stellar, amazing lineup. So did
Mhm.
you guys do something differently for Giants and Monsters as compared to Halloween?
Not very differently. Aside from we spared some time for pre-production. This time, the last time we had like a huge pre-production going on where we went all together in the studio to work on songs. And this time we did a lot of stuff online, and um, but it feels more united than it did before, Like I most of the times I tell people that it takes some time to become a band, even though it was like old members joining back, and you have like synergies and a certain vibe within a band. And when new people come in, even if it's like in our case, old new people, the whole energy changes and you have to become a band. I think you have to do at least one tour and one album to feel really stable as a band, and that's what we did, we did two tours and one album, and so this made us doing this record much easier it was much easier for us to do that one because there was just more trust for each other, there was like we just know each other so well. It makes
Mhm.
makes more fun to create something, yeah.
Was there a specific reason why the band chose the title Giants and Monsters?
There was no specific reason, but the thing is when you're on tour, you talk about certain topics, and that's I believe that as an artist, you always you have this kind of a snapshot of where you're at in your life, with in terms of topics and in terms of your view of the world and stuff, and that comes out in lyrics
Mhm.
and that comes out in such a title as well, like if you put metaphorical speaking, giants and monsters could be like the the monsters could be something that you're struggling with, or mountains that you have to climb, like something that you want to achieve, and
Mhm.
it's not easy to achieve. And the giants are the giant could be the person that you're becoming as soon as you um went through the struggle, or as soon as you achieved what you wanted to achieve, you know. So it was more like a metaphorical thinking um of the title, yeah.
You almost said the same thing because in order to achieve something, you need to get over yourself. You need to
Yeah, you need to
yourself.
grow.
Right. So that's the same thing. Most of the times, the monster is our
Exactly.
evil side, right? The side that says that we cannot do that, or we are too weak,
Mm,
we don't know, and that comes with
yeah,
growing
yeah.
up. Right?
And it could be anything, like, you know, the monsters in life could be anything. It could be also people like who are trying to pull you down, you know,
Oh yeah.
like you know, I come from a like smaller region here, not a metropolitan city in Germany. And when I was starting out doing music, you know, it was like crazy dreaming of what it became today for me, you know. So people would try to pull you down, and they were like, "Yeah, nobody's waiting for you, and what do you think you are? Who do you think you are?" You know, something like that. That could be a monster that you need to strike down, you know, and become a giant, you know.
Yeah. But
Mm.
again, even not even when you have people like that, it's up to you. I mean, to stop that.
Absolutely,
But it's
absolutely. And you whether have to decide if you want to become a monster like them, or if you want to be the giant
Mhm.
who's surpassing everything, you know.
But unfortunately, we tend to hear the bad things that they say about us rather than listen to our own voice that, hey, you know yourself better than anyone. These guys don't know.
Mm. Yeah, you shouldn't do that, or at least to in a certain age, you should have learned that you better don't listen to what people say or think of you. You know, it's a waste of time. You
Yeah.
it's your life, and you have to create it yourself, you know. And you know, when I was starting out as a very young musician, I had this kind of thinking that when everyone else was also a kid in school, like I was thinking, so for me it was always like Bon Jovi was the thing. Like I was speaking always about, like, okay, but Bon Jovi was a kid before and he went to school like I did, you know, like something like that. So and that's how I thought. Like if one person can do that, or if you want to become an aviator or professor or whatever you want to become, there were people before you doing it. So
Yeah.
when anyone else was able to do that, you could do that as well, you know. And of course, it depends on your talent and many other things. And some people um, grow up in better circumstances, and others don't, you know. And I didn't grow up in really well circumstances, so I could become a rock star or whatsoever, you know. But it's possible, and that's what I think is important for people, you know, to
Well,
fight these kind of monsters that try to pull you down. And
I agree. But at
so,
the same time, I cannot claim I can be Sasha, I can be Adi, because this type of, let's say, business, you have to have the talent.
you
I
have to
can
have,
never be Kisk, right? No, there is no way.
yeah,
My voice is
you
not.
have to. That's the thing. It's the same with sports. Of course, there's a genetical pool, and there's something you have to bring to the table, of
Mhm.
course. But listen, a lot of people, I believe that a lot of people have talents for things, you know. And but you also have to push forward to use your talents. And a lot of people, they don't use their potential, you know. And that's what I see a lot with people that I mean, I see young kids who are my fans playing songs, Helloween songs, and I see them playing really well, you know. And some of them, they can play stuff I can't play, you know. Like some of them, like these like kind of YouTube guitar players, they play like super heavy shit, and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't play that, you know. It's like crazy what kind of talent they have. But the question is, do you want to be a stay-at-home guitar player, or do you want to go on tour and go through the struggle playing shitty clubs in front of 10 people, or do you want to go through that? And I have seen that in my youth, that like a lot of like really talented friends of mine who are nowadays engineers or whatever, they didn't become musicians because they didn't want to go through the struggles, and so there is more to it other than talent, like talent is something that you have to have,
Right.
Of course, if you want to become a great basketball player and you're like, I don't know, 4.5, it's probably impossible, so genetically speaking. But if you're like 6.5, like I am, or taller, and you have the physical abilities, you need to push through and work on that. And you have to develop your skills and your skill set. It's not that talent alone is making you becoming who you want to be.
Yes, and one more thing, talent will get you far, but not as far as becoming a superstar. Because being in a band that has been around for 4 decades, you have
Yeah,
to
I would
be
go further. Sorry,
right.
I would even go further. I would say I wouldn't overrate talent so much. I would say like talent is only like supporting you to
Yes.
get there. Like it's like a little turbo boost or little help. It's making things a little bit easier, but
Mhm.
the real work has nothing to do with talent.
There you
Yeah.
go. We are totally agree on that. So speaking of the other things in a band, how easy has become writing music with 3 guitarists, 3 singers? I mean,
Mhm.
there is a lot to process.
Mm. Well, I mean, first of all, I have to say we didn't change much from the stuff that we did before when we were 5 people. You would let's take this scenario. I would sit in my home studio and I would start creating some like sound design or whatever, and then I start singing to that and having some. At one point, you get the inspiration and you have a song idea, for instance. You just want to finish the song. You don't think about um okay, how would that be in the end, or would that end up on an album? I've written so many songs that never even got on an album. So like sometimes you just write and you do stuff, and then there are other inspirations where you instantly have some of the singers we have now in mind. Just because you know each other so well and you know the abilities, and that helps a little bit to get inspired. And the same goes for guitar parts. Like you have like an intro part where I think like, oh, that would be a great guitar solo, but I don't want to play it myself. I hear Kai on there because
Right.
I know the way he plays, and it would like add something to the song. So it's more for me personally, it's that kind of approach. How could the ability of a player or a singer support the song,
Mhm.
so that's for me the main reason. I just want to serve the song with all the abilities we have in the
So
band.
you wrote Universe, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
So what was your process? Because we are talking about an 8 and 40 seconds long. This is the longest song, and it's an epic. And I love how it goes through all the
Mhm.
phases. So
Mhm.
what was your process? You didn't think at all about who will be singing?
Oh yeah, but this song I did, like I said before, is sometimes you have this inspiration where you instantly know who should sing the song. And with this song, it was clear for me to be a song for Michael Kiska's voice. Because just from the intro, like this song, sometimes you start a song with a chorus or with some verse or whatever, or a riff, or and there it was like plain sound design that I started. I tried out some like clean sounds and stuff because I wanted to feature more clean guitars on that record, because we are 3 guitar players, and I noticed when we played live that it's with 3 guitar players you can layer stuff more interestingly, other than just having 3 guys playing the same riff, right? So I was thinking of creating clean guitar sounds and layers instead of like plain keyboard pads or whatever. So I was starting with this line, and I had this idea, and then suddenly I had this inspiration for the hook and the melody, you know, and I was singing to it and it was like, this is something Michael should sing. It would sound amazing, you know. And because I liked that intro so much, so it was first an intro and it sounded great. And I was like, okay, now let's push that further. That could be a great chorus. So I was creating the chorus. And so I was building up the song. And in the end, I figured out that there was one part after another coming in, you know. It was like literally just inspiration over like 3 days or something, you know. It was like just I woke up on the next morning and I had the force to work on the song once more, you know. It was like always pushing me forward because I had the feeling that it's there that it's going to be a really good song that's representing the band what it is right now in and building a bridge to the past as well, you know.
And you were right. You were right.
Yeah, it seemed to work. It seemed to work.
Yes.
Yes.
Gravity for Hearts. What does that mean?
I thought of let's say everything is connected. Like every decision you take, it will result with um with things reflecting in other people. Like if you take your family, for instance, everything you do will reflect on them, and everything they do will reflect on you. And so it's like and if you take a bigger step outside of your family and you go into the world and you go into the universe, and you know, so I thought like if everything is connected, there's some gravity around you, and metaphorical speaking, I wanted to have it to sound positive, you know, like we humans, we tend to use the heart as a positive, like the heart is like the deep, there's love, there's like, you know, so it's a positive feeling that we connect with the word heart, you know. I feel it in my heart. Correct. Something like that. That's a positive. Yes. So I thought that's some kind of gravity. Also, I noticed that sometimes when you're a creative person, you have an idea and it's coming from somewhere, and then you figure out that like a lot of other people have the kind of same idea. You know, like you're speaking with friends about, I have this one idea, blah blah blah, and then you wait for it, and like a couple of weeks later or months later, you see someone else from around the world,
yes,
is having the same idea. You know, so I think everything's just connected, and ideas are not created within yourself. That's what I believe. I believe ideas are created because we are inspiring each other all the time. You see things, you smell things, you know, you hear things, and that's how things are created, and it's like continuously moving forward. That's what I kind of noticed from just watching how things develop, you know, within human beings, and you know, like it's not that you can't be so nosy and think that you created everything yourself. That's not working, you know.
Yes.
So and that's what I thought is like there's some gravity holding that together. Like if you compose something, it's very possible that someone else had the same idea somehow, you know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I thought it's a beautiful idea to get the listener thinking of, hey, that's right, everything's reflecting, everything I do could matter in a sense, you know. And I just think it's a positive, very beautiful, positive message.
I'm laughing, I'm smiling because you kind of painted a positive image for the internet and the social media, right? Now everybody's connected more than ever. And even though there is this negativity, there is some positivity there because, yes, everybody's connected. Whatever we may say, it may affect someone living in the other hemisphere. So yes, I can see that. And I like, as I said, painting this with a positive
I think it's important to do that, actually. Because you said social media, I think especially with social media, it's important as an artist. I think. See, that's the thing that comes when you mature up a little bit. If you get older as an artist, you think more about those things. You know, like your testosterone levels go lower and your ego goes lower. You know, it's not about showing everyone you the best of it all. You know, something like that. Um, and you think about those things, and especially with social media, I think it's as an artist, it's it's my duty to create something positive. That's what I believe in. That's my personal belief. There's like you could easily fall into the trap to think that everything that has to do with social media and stuff is negative
Mhm.
and um and pretty shitty, So I think as an artist, when you write lyrics, it's your duty to spread out something positive. Other than, I mean, it's so easy to be evil, especially like if you do metal, it's so easy to be evil. I think that's not really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's really easy to be evil and being dark, and I love dark. Don't get me wrong. I love, well, I'm a big sucker for new wave music. So I like when it's a little bit goth and dark. I
Mhm.
like that. Um, but in the sense of being having some melancholy or like deep feeling for that. But lyrically, I think it's very, very important to give people hope and
Yeah.
something positive to hold on.
And it's something that is a trademark for Helloween, especially live. You get
Mm,
there and you start singing with everybody. You start singing with a band.
mm,
Instantly, you
right,
feel great about it.
right.
Um, and a personal note, this is not a question because I am 50 years old. So I have been following Helloween for a long time. So seeing the three guitarists and the three singers, it represents different times of my life. So
Mm,
that goes back to what you said, everything is connected. So what you guys are doing, it's connected to me. So I have a
mm.
different memories, different feelings, and that's amazing. So how are you gonna choose songs for the set list for the 14th anniversary? I mean,
Mm.
you have a new
That's
album
tough, man.
and you have
Yeah,
so many albums.
yeah. Actually, that's pretty tough to do.
Mhm.
Like we've been thinking that through, and um, it's you can't do a show for 6 hours. It's like it's really tough. You have to
Sure.
do like the best of the best, and then at the same time you want to present new songs as well. Mm, so it's really hard. And then also we have like different eras, like you said before. It's like different eras within the band. It's
Correct.
a and then also we have a wide range of styles as well. Like we're not this like typical power metal band that's going into that direction only. Um, a live show for us, it must be a journey. We want, like you said before, we want to have people come to the shows and vibing with us, having like a really nice evening and great energy, and that's the most important thing for us. And that way we choose the set list. We go into, okay, what kind of songs would match and giving the listener and the people who are coming to the shows the best experience. And then also like we play festivals as well here and there from time to time, and there are a lot of people who are not aware what Halloween is about. So you
Yes.
also want to give them the full Halloween experience. And you can't do that if you just touch one era of the band. You have to get a good variety of songs.
So aside from the festivals, how long will the set list be? So how much time will you be? Will you be guys? Will you be on stage?
Yeah. I mean, we're at the rehearsals right now. We didn't really stop yet the time, but I'm guessing it must be around 2 hours, something like that.
Don't
So that's just a guess from my side. So yeah, we have these kind of long songs as well sometimes and stuff, and yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty good intense show. So I think
I have so many notes about songs. We don't have the time, but I love what you guys did with Into the Sun, Hand of God. With there are these keyboard melodies. I love how the back and forth with different singers. Honestly, I'm excited to see Helloween here in Chicago. I'm guessing 2026, right?
That is very possible, yeah.
Mm.
That is very possible. Looking forward to that. You know, you always love to come back to the States. And our tour was just start now. You know, we will start in fall in Europe. So this is the first thing we're gonna play, and then we're going to Southeast Asia, and then next year there's a lot of space for different countries. Yeah.
Oh man, I cannot wait. Last question. Were there any challenges mastering the album? Again, with so many stuff to add there.
What do you mean? What's the question again? Sorry.
Were there any challenges from the mastering the album? Because you did the mastering, right?
No, we had a guy here in Germany mastering the album.
Okay.
He mastered also the last album.
Okay, so you were not involved in mixing mastering, right?
We had Charlie and Dennis mixing the album.
Got
exactly. And then we had a couple of masters. We were checking out a couple of masters, and then we came back to the guy who was mastering the last album as well. His name is Sascha Gerstner. That's his name.
So maybe I was confused because I saw the first name and I assumed Sascha.
Right? Yeah. He's also, his name is also Sascha, and I know him very well. He's not far. He's not living far from where I live. We're in the same town. Excellent. And I know the guy from back then. Yeah, and he did an excellent job, and he actually does a lot of like different styles of music. You know, he's like doing a lot of different, from hip hop till metal, everything. You know, he's like one of the greatest mastering engineers here in Germany.
Amazing. Sascha, thank you very much for your time. Give my love to the rest of the band.
Yeah, thanks, man. Will do.
See you in Chicago and have safe travels, man.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.